fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it.
As long as Trump is running for office, no one who isn't named Trump will ever get the nomination. Trump's control of the base is absolute. And many on the left side of TikTok have been asking Trump supporters why, especially after the most recent indictment out of Georgia. An indictment that challenges free speech, attorney-client relationships, and a sitting president's duty and a political challenger's right to question the election process. But I digress. To answer the question why Trump, one has to go all the way back to why Trump won the 2016 election. As famed leftist Michael Moore put it, Trump spoke to the forgotten and middle class of the Rust Belt states. He spoke to those that had been screwed over one too many times by corporate greed. And Trump was their big middle finger to the rich men north of Richmond. And did those rich men listen? Nope, they doubled down. They told half of America that you will fall in line. And the other half that used to embody anti-corporatist counterculture was all of a sudden pro-corporatist. To do this, they concocted a plot to undermine Trump's presidency like never before by fabricating a Russian collusion narrative that many on the left still cling to despite all the countervailing evidence that points to a plot developed by elements of the DNC and the intelligence community. And when that didn't work, they had to throw an unprecedented impeachment at him, as he wasn't even charged with treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors. Abuse of power is arguably done by every president, and obstruction of Congress isn't even an impeachable offense, but they impeached him anyways. And then you have a global pandemic unleashed by a country that hated Trump and partly funded by the administrative state, all coupled with daily accusations by corporate media that Trump was the worst person ever. On top of that, you had the media constantly saying that elections were unsecure, all the way leading up to the 2020 election, until they weren't. And then you had social media giants in actual collusion with the administrative state putting their fingers on the scale of influencing information flow to the average voter. Where are their RICO charges? So when you look back on the past election and his entire presidency, you see that he was undermined in an unprecedented and in a uniquely abusive way. It's no wonder that the base still supports the man that they put in office. It's because the rich men north of Richmond and their unindicted co-conspirators never allowed Trump to govern in the first place.